So today, once you've read the first page of The Queen of the Eels, there are some comprehension questions for you to go through. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run through a guide of how to approach reading comprehensions, because obviously it's something that you've not done in a while. So this is a recap of the skills that are necessary for you to be successful. So first of all, the most important reading skill is skimming and scanning. And it's important to know when to use skimming and when to use scanning. So skimming and scanning are not the same skill. When you skim a text, you're trying to get an overall gist of what is going on. Ways that we skim are that we might read the titles, subtitles and subheadings to think about what the topic is about. We might look at illustrations, read the first and last sentence of each paragraph. We'll skim over the text by letting our eyes go across the text, looking out for keywords. And whilst we're doing that, we're thinking about the meaning of the text. The main point here is when you skim, you are looking for understanding an overall gist of what the text is about. Skimming is great in a non-fiction text to use the titles and subheadings to think about what the topic is going to be about and whether you want to read it or not. Scanning is more specific. It's when you are trying to locate a specific thing in a text, and this is the most useful skill that you can have. You have to have skimming and scanning. They're both important skills, but if you can scan effectively, it's really useful in helping you locate information within a text. So ways to scan: don't read every word, just let your eyes move quickly across the page until you find what you're looking for. So particularly in non-fiction text, you can use headings and titles to help you scan the text to find your answers. Yeah, the other ones are relevant if you wanted to pause and read them. However, I'm going to move on to ones that I like to use within the classroom. So other useful scanning tips: think about the shape of a word, the ascenders and descenders. So for example, the word tyrant would look like this. So when you're scanning the text, if you're looking for the keyword of tyrant, you're looking for 2 ascenders and 1 descender like that. This is a teacher's name. You could pause it here and think about which teacher it is. You must have got there quite quickly. It would obviously be Mr. Firrell. You can pause the video here and you can practice writing out your own name. You could practice writing out your pet's name. You could practice, and when I'm saying writing them out, I'm meaning you can draw the shape of your own name. So other scanning tips that you could look for: if your keyword is a name, the most obvious thing to look for would be a capital letter. If you're also trying to locate a place, often it will contain a capital letter. If you're looking for a date, time or age, you should be scanning for a number. If your question is asking for a location, you could also scan for a capital letter. As well as skimming and scanning, it's important that when we're reading a question, we can pull it apart to identify the information that we need. So, and the main thing within a question that you need to be aware of is the difference between a question word and a keyword. So our question words will be found at the beginning of a question most often than not. So we've got 5 W's: who, what, why, where, when, as well as how. Okay, often we can have how many, how much, sometimes which. If you understand the question word, then you understand what sort of answer you should get. So it's important that you take that information in before you attempt to answer the question. So, for example, who, you're looking for a name or a person. What might be a thing. Why means you're trying to justify. So you might use because in your answer. Where is a location. When is a time or date. Which could be a thing. How could be a quantity, and how many or much as well could be a quantity. So that's the question word, and I know we read them and we presume we know what they are, but it's really important that we think, okay, what information is that question asking for? So then it's important that we understand the keyword. So Keywords are vital in comprehending a text. You need to have a strategy as a reader to identify which words are key, so that they hold the meaning, and then skimming and scanning for those words help you to unlock that meaning, okay? So they might be key for a variety of reasons. They could be unfamiliar, unusual, interesting, or critical to meaning. So it's imperative to understand what the keyword is in a question. This is a word that you scan the text for to locate your answer. So here are a couple of examples of our keywords. We've looked at this text before. So just focusing in on the question, it says the tiger's name Shere Khan comes from 2 different languages. What are they? So here we have 2 things. Languages and fears, and these 2 questions are our key words. So they're the words that we scan for. I've also identified this, the word Shere Khan. The reason why is because that's actually a subheading here. So therefore our eyes can locate which section we should be looking in, okay? And then we've got our keywords. Those words are what we scan for. So languages is quite a unique word in terms of length, and it's got an ascender and 2 descenders. So you should be able to locate that by looking at the shape of that word. Similarly with fears, with that 1 ascender, and it's just a very clear shape. You're going to now try to answer the questions. You need to do the following. So if you wanted to pause on this, it would be a good reminder for you when attempting your questions. You need to think what the question word is. What is it asking you to do? You need to think what is the key word or words, and you need to scan the text for them. I would underline or highlight them as a reminder. I'd also highlight the question word so that it's just making a point of taking in what that answer, what they're requiring for the answer. Then you skim for the paragraph that you think the answer's in, and then you scan for the keyword within that paragraph. Underline the keywords within the text. Okay, good luck. I hope you get on well. If you need any help, I am around.